Okay, so it's 2025. You are thinking about doing some renovations, but you're not necessarily in your forever home. Maybe you'll sell it at some point in the future. And maybe you're thinking about doing some really cool things like putting in a gold-plated toilet. Hey, maybe you're way into hunting and you've got an open room and you're thinking about turning it into a museum for all your hunting trophies. Or you've got that unfinished basement and you've been wondering what you should do with it, and you finally had the genius idea to remodel it to look like the inside of a Dollar General. Oh, wow, I know. The Dollar General jokes just never stop coming. I don't even know why I started doing them, but I love them. Hey everybody, my name is Tim Gibson, and you've guessed it, my channel is all about North Georgia real estate, not Dollar General. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're thinking about listing your home in North Georgia, or if you're thinking about moving to the area, please reach out. My contact info is right here on the screen. All right, so if you live in North Georgia and you're thinking about selling your house sometime in the future, I'm gonna give you some of the worst renovations that you can do for resale value. All right, so the first thing on the list would be any renovation that is very personalized to you. Look, I know we all have our hobbies, we all have things that we love, and we want to surround ourselves with things that we like to do or things that make us feel at home. But if it's very personalized and very specific to your interests, that type of renovation is going to probably hurt the resale value, because what you're trying to do when you're listing your house, of course, is to appeal to the most amount of buyers who are interested in a house in the area and at the price point that your house will sell for. So let me give you a couple examples from some of the houses that I've seen over the past couple of years that are highly personalized that may not appeal to buyers whenever you are listing your house for sale. Number one would be a very specific basement renovation. As all of you know, I live in North Georgia and I live in the land of the Georgia Bulldogs. Very popular team here, national champions a couple times, and we have a ton of Bulldog fans here. So one of the things that I have seen over the years, of course, being in Georgia Bulldog territory, you've got a lot of those basements that have been completely remodeled and centered around Saturday college football, watching the Georgia Bulldogs. You got the walls painted red and black, you got memorabilia everywhere, and you've got a very specific basement that basically only fits that Saturday viewing experience. Now, if you're selling your house to another Georgia Bulldog fan, maybe this would be great, but we also have a lot of people that are moving to North Georgia from different areas who may not be Georgia Bulldog fans, and God forbid, they may be Florida Gators fans. Another one that's very specific is maybe you love movies, maybe you love to watch shows on Netflix, and you've got an entire room that's set up like a home theater. Yeah, and in your home theater, maybe you've got those tiered seats, you know, kind of like the movie theater seating where you've got the stair steps and everybody's got a good view of the screen, you got the projector, you got all the movie memorabilia and stuff like that. While that may appeal to you and others who are movie fans, it may not appeal to a wide range of buyers. So think about that when you are potentially considering renovations for your house. Another thing that I see in terms of renovations that may not necessarily appeal to buyers is overly extravagant renovations. And what I mean by that is, let's say you are living in a neighborhood and your house is maybe a little older and you want to do a complete home renovation, or maybe you're doing kitchens and bathrooms or something like that, and you want super fancy finishes and you put in, you know, very extravagant kitchen, extravagant bathrooms, and everything is super nice and expensive. And so if you're pricing your house to account for the cost of those expensive renovations and it doesn't necessarily match the surrounding neighborhood, especially in terms of what buyers could get for their money, if they can get a little bit cheaper house and the renovations aren't as nice, that could actually hurt your resale value, even though those finishes are super nice and fancy. I know y'all like that fancy stuff. So another one that I see that's kind of interesting is when someone wants to make some structural changes or converting rooms that were originally designed for something else into a closet or a bedroom or something like that. So a couple examples that I have seen that may work for some people, but may not necessarily work for most of those buyers, is whenever someone has a garage and they take that garage and turn it into a living space or an extra bedroom. While, you know, finishing a garage and turning it into a bedroom or a living area may sound like a good idea, and maybe it works for you, most of the time when I take a buyer into a house that has a garage that has been changed into some sort of living area, they usually go, oh man, this is cool, but I would rather have a garage. Because usually that limits their storage space, and especially if a house doesn't have some sort of unfinished basement or something like that, they use their garage, of course, to park the cars, but I also use it for the storage. What you may see as an increase in living area or an additional bedroom, a lot of buyers tend to see that as a lack of storage space. This one is a little bit more uncommon, but I have seen this a few times, and it's pretty interesting. You know, say you've got a house that's listed as a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, but one of those bedrooms has been turned into a gigantic closet. I have seen that more times than you probably realize. And if you got a lot of clothes, that's awesome. But if you're thinking about turning that bedroom, that extra bedroom or that office or whatever, into a giant closet, at least renovate it in a way that makes it easy to turn back into a bedroom whenever you are going to list your house for sale. Some of you love being outside, sitting by the pool in the warm months in North Georgia, and you're like, hey, you know what? Let's refinance the house, or let's put in a nice pool, spend a bunch of money on it and just enjoy it. That's great, and that may be awesome for you, but also think in terms of those buyers. A lot of times when I take buyers to a house that's got a pool and they say, oh, that's really nice, but how much does it cost to maintain this? What do the chemicals cost if it's not a saltwater pool? Is it heated? What does it cost to heat this? And a lot of times they see that as a little bit of a burden rather than a benefit. All right, so as a quick example, you know, if you're thinking about doing some renovations, you think in terms of what would a buyer expect. So you want to repaint your house and maybe you want to redo the landscaping. So if you got 2 houses in the same neighborhood, both priced pretty similar, let's say $500,000, and one house has been recently painted a color that sort of, you know, falls in line with what you would expect in the neighborhood or the surrounding community, and the landscaping looks like it's manageable and easy to maintain. Okay, and so for the second house, let's contrast that and say it's in the same neighborhood, and someone painted it their favorite color, which may be a very bright color or uncommon color. And let's say they also have redone their landscaping and put in all sorts of exotic plants and, you know, like a botanical garden style landscaping out there, and it looks like it may be a lot to maintain. Let's say I'm taking buyers to those 2 houses and they like both, and unless they're very specific and they like the color that you painted the house, if it's a bright or unique color, and they love exotic plants or gardening or something like that, most buyers are probably going to pick the house that is more of a neutral color and it's got landscaping that's easier to maintain. All right, so what did you think about this video? Are you thinking about doing some renovations? If you are, maybe leave your renovations in the comments and let me know what you're planning to do. Or maybe you're shopping for a house in North Georgia, or you have shopped for houses in the past and you saw some ridiculous renovations. Please leave those. I love to see crazy stuff that people do to their houses. You would just be surprised at some of the stuff I've seen. As always, if you are thinking about moving to North Georgia, or if you're thinking about listing your home in North Georgia, please reach out. My contact info is on the screen, and we'll see you on the next video.